Light the sky, Solana steals the throne. Fast and bold, watch the profits grow. Rise with Q4, break the market's mode. Unleash the speed, let the future unfold. Ooh yeah, feel the glow ignite. Holographic gains take flight. Shatter limits, claim the reign. Solana's pulse, we're breaking the chain. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Blaze through blocks, Solana speeds unreal. Low fees fuel the fire, seal the deal. Meme coins spark, pump funds, wild parade. Saga phones unlock a digital trade. NFTs min fast, magic Eden's glow. Defy yield stack where the boldest go. Q4 hums with hope, sentiments in play. Solana's crown shines, leading the way. Light the sky, Solana steals the throne. Fast and bold, watch the profits grow. Rise of Q4, break the market's mold. Unleash the speed, let the future unfold. Yeah, feel the glow ignite. Holographic gains take flight. Shatter limits, claim the reign. Solana's pulse, we're breaking the chain. How the world spins, Solana's the star. BTC hovers near 100K, not as far. Neutral vibe shift, Q4 spark ignites. All coins dance where the vision excites. If I stream slow, yields light the night. Ecosystem thrives, pure dynamite. Solana's future fast as a dream. Q4's the stage, join the supreme. Light the sky, Solana steals the throne. Fast and bold, watch the profits grow. Rise of Q4, break the market's mold. Unleash the speed, let the future unfold. Oh yeah, feel the glow ignite. Holographic gains take flight. Shatter limits, claim the reign. Solana's pulse, we're breaking the chain. Oh yeah, the beat ignites. Oh yeah, watch the charts align. Oh yeah, Solana's rise, a radiant design. Surge on, from the dip to the peak, we claim our right. Q4's our anthem, own the fight. The sky, Solana steals the throne. Solana surge, yeah.
Hey now, way back, RP clears the haze. Break the barriers, light the day. Hey no, hey no. Ride the wave, Q4's bold roar. Shatter the doubt, open every door. Hey now, feel the pulse ignite. Ripple dreams take flight. Ride the wave, claim the throne tonight. XRP's rhythm sets the fight. Hey now. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. XRP's rising. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. XRP's rhythm sets the fight. Swift transactions, XRP cuts the line. Cross-border flows of financial design. Seek battles fade, hopes on the rise. Ripple net strength lights the skies. Stablecoin links, CBDC on the brink. DeFi bridges form, no need to think. Q4 hums with buzz, sentiments in play. XRP's the pulse, leading the way. Ride the wave, XRP clears the haze. Break the barriers, light the days. Yeah down, yeah down. Ride the wave, Q4's bold roar. Shatter the doubt, open every door. Hey now, feel the pulse ignite. Ripple dreams take flight. Ride the wave, claim the throne tonight. XRP's rhythm sets the fire. While the world spins, XRP's the flow. BTC nears 100K, but XRP's got the show. Neutral vibe shift, Q4's energy builds. All coins surge where the future wills. Ripple Labs push partnerships ignite. Ecosystem thrives, day turns to night. XRP's horizon swift as a stream. Q4's the stage, chase the supreme. Ride the wave, XRP clears the haze. Break the barriers, light the days.
It's time for the ringing of the cowbell. Ring it. Ring out your dead. Ring it. The cowbell. Love the cowbell. Cowbell and Jesus.
He's a scent, a vision beyond compare. Wave up from the shadows to the gleam. Q4's our anthem, fulfill the dream. Ride the wave, XRP clears the haze. Break the barriers, light the days. XRP's rise.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for the turkey. This is your first trip on the airplane. Please don't jump out of the windows while we're mid-flight. The people on the ground don't like scraping your bodies off the pavement. It's kind of gross. Be respectful. If you're going to jump out of the airplane, aim for the water or the trees. Thank you.
Was hit. Chinese hands unload the stack. Bitcoin stumbles low, altcoins crack.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you very much.
Welcome everyone to Late Night Crypto with Road Dawg. We're taking a look at Bitcoin here on a Friday night. Oh wow, don't we usually find something interesting going on Fridays? The bleeding stopped on a Friday, kinda, sorta, almost, kinda, hopefully, maybe, kinda, sorta. We're not going down anymore. Well, so far, we have that, right? So that we can be grateful for. So into the wee morning of the hours, I was awake and over here posting into the trade setup areas over here until we finally got this little setup here. And what it was just the Fibonacci pull from the swing low to the swing high, and looking mostly at the 886 area, which we came down and started going up. And I said, you know what, we made a higher high here. I think we can come down a little bit more and probably retest for a higher low, whatever. I gotta go to sleep because this is like way in the morning. This is like 7 in the morning. Like I've been up all night. And that's a bad habit. Sure enough, as soon as I pass out, of course, I had a beautiful entry in there, and I got stopped out. Now I'm still in because when I woke up and found, oh my God, I worked on getting a new entry over here because it looked like it would come up to our main target area that I was expecting to bounce from. And we talked about the possibilities of it going lower. It didn't go lower than what I expected. We got a lot closer to this 0.5 fib area than I really wanted it to happen. Here was an interesting thing. This is where it stopped me out. Now, I was actually using a little trick for my stop loss, and I thought I was safe. Oh, I did think I was safe, but let me show you. Let me show you this little technique. Maybe this technique might be a benefit to you guys. I should have just went a little bit lower on the ladder rung. You wonder what's a, you know, you got your techniques to put your stop losses, right? And like most people will put them, they'll look to the left and they'll put over here under this guy, or some people might say, I want to be safer, I want to put it under here. But this one came and wicked and got them all. Now, that's one sign of these market makers playing dirty. I think I just read it as an act of desperation when they come and do that. They're up to something, right? And once they did that, well, the market started reversing there. But what I had done was, after I got in over here at these levels, I went to the 113 and I put my stop loss down here at 81,400 area. They went full on. Well, I didn't get you signed up there right now. Get you on the top of that. Let me get my little things tweaked. They went full on 1618 there. That was dirty. They went a full on move right there, man. That's kind of crazy. So from this this measure move, put this measure move at the 618, and you got a 1-to-1 right to that area right there, right? Interesting. I thought that's interesting. So that might be a little cheat code on situations like this is to start looking for some of these and putting our stop losses a little bit lower. I thought the 113 would get me, but that still wasn't lower than this guy. So interesting thing that they do there. Just some ideas, you know, to experiment with or whatnot. And so right now we've came back and we've reclaimed the main area that we were looking for, which is about 84,000 in that area, the 382 Fibonacci, and that's where we're hanging out. But we're not doing a great job of holding it as support. And here we are on the weekend again, which, you know, for the weekends, as fun as they always are. Do we need to recap what happened to us last weekend? What did happen to us last weekend? Let's zoom out a little bit. Last weekend, let's see, we had a Sunday through Friday, and we started pumping up a little bit. This is toward Halloween here. Got up to 115. And then a Thursday, Friday, they dumped us there a little bit. We went sideways over the weekend, the first week of November. And here we go, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to Tuesday. They pumped us up from 102 up to about, 107. So the last few weekends, they've been coming in, getting, you know, retail, that's us, a little hyped on the weekends. Enough to chase and get you caught up, and then slam bam, thank you ma'am. Come Wednesday dump day, they start taking us to the cleaners there. This last weekend, they just kept on dumping us down on the 14th, and it's just been kind of relentless through there, just a slow burn down through these areas of Hopium. And will it catch here? Will it catch here? What's going on? It's bear market. And I don't know whether you think that we are in bear market now, and you have a right to think that, and you got some good support, evidence to support you on that idea that we are. But if there was ever going to be an anomalous cycle to where there would be an extended cycle, I think this would be it. Now, from what I can see, the analysis that I'm doing, and it involves some GAN techniques, and I'm seeing some other people also see some similar ideas there. But at least I can point it toward some kind of math, right? For what I've got. It's weird, but it's actually got some math behind it that's pointing toward these certain time frames and certain levels. And I've shared this before, and I guess I can draw it out over here. What it looks like that we're doing is a big flush out before something good happens, and that it might carry on over into, well, January. So we could get a relief rally, and we might get lucky enough to touch as high as 107. That would be awesome. It's kind of hard to imagine right now, but even testing 100,000 or right below the 100,000, that's probably a little bit more closer that we might be looking at. And we can kind of refine this also too with our Fibonacci's, which we'll do in a minute. But it's basically, you know, us coming up to an area and then coming back down to where we are now. Somewhere around that second week of January. And so it seems like we're going to be here, if I'm looking at the GAN time-based analysis thing that I've been working on, suggests that we'll hang around in this area until that second week of December. And whatever that looks like, up, down, sideways, all around, but right here in this area until December, and then we start going up a little bit, and then it's over for right now as things start winding down toward that second week of January here. And then somewhere right around the 13th, I believe, I'll have to check my notes on that, we should be right back down to this same similar area. So it looks like we have a possibility of making a W, or we might, you know, it could also look like a Wyckoff accumulation. It may not actually look like this W at all. It may just be a fuzzy wuzzy and we get a little spring thing and then pop off. That is the most hopeful scenario that we can have right now. Otherwise, if you're looking at the traditional things that would normally signal a bear market, well, they're here. They've been here. And I guess we should take a look at those just to keep our form of reason. But this was, I think we went over this last night too. This idea here, we took a fractal, and I think we applied it on the daily, where we took it from the daily and applied it on the daily. Oh snap, well, we'll get rid of that. We don't need that. And looking for something very similar to this, that could be happening. And then as we go into summer, right around this time of July should be a good topping zone, according to, the time-based analysis that I've been working on. Now, I don't know. Yeah, just have to take this with a grain of salt, but it is something. But it's always good to remember what the other indicators and what the charts are saying, and let's take a look at it. We got a trend line that appears to be broken right now. Well, that's a strike against a bull run, and so far, let me get rid of some of these little lines here, some of these smaller time frame things that don't really matter when you get onto the bigger stuff. It looks like, well, that's kind of irrelevant. Looks important where we are, but on the bigger scheme of things, not so much. We got some support here with this red line. That's a 666 moving average, and we've also got this 382 fib area for the big ass pull. And that's a major area to hold, and we can fluctuate on both sides of it. We're holding that general area. The 0.5 Fibonacci, the next run for the major one we're looking at. Remember, this green line comes from this pull from way back down here at 115,000 all the way up to 126. That's where this green line comes in, and we're right about there. The next area down would be the 70,000, the 0.5, and we don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that right now. Nobody wants to do that right now. These little areas that we got marked over here, these little purple lines I've got over there, what they're based on this pull from 74,000 up to our high. And getting ahead of myself here. There's this other little zone here. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys. 786, 886 area. And now for this one, we came right down to it at 80,800 to that 886. Now for a local pattern, which is also valid, and it corresponds with this 382 bigger picture of things, and also with this trend line area, which, if we get a wick down and we can get back into the pattern, we can get back to 86,000, hold that. That's when this idea starts having a little bit more validation, the one that I'm presenting about, hey man, we might get a surprise bullish run here for a little bit. And I do think this is very, very likely. Hopefully we won't break the trend line again. Maybe we pull back to 91 at that. Who knows? A high or low is what we need to look for after we get this. But this is an 886 retracement here. It's kind of signifying that there's a harmonic pattern that I haven't really identified over here. But this is the reversal zone for these guys, right? Deep retracement from here to up here. We had all this selling volume, and when we come to the I don't know, the even bigger time frames, we just either like the weekly or the monthly. Look at the monthly. Let's look at the monthly on the Christmas tree candles over here. I mean, that is one big horse. That's wow. What can you? I don't want to pull up and just, if I happen to just glance over to the left at the urinal and see that thing, I'm just, holy crap. I think we need to leave. Helen, why are you in the men's room with me? Because there's a big horse cock. Anyway, look at this big candle coming all the way down here to the 21. That might be a world record. The big 21 slonger right down here, 21 moving average there. It's like, thought 9 was enough. No, 21. This one goes to 21. This one goes to your tonsils. From the backside. That can't be real. That can't be real. We got one candle that's 20. Oh my God, we keep putting measurements on it and it just keeps growing. I'm like, is this Long Dong Silver? You thought is, oh, that looks normal. Oh my God. Oh my God, why is it still growing? I didn't feel bad about myself until this day. Wow, okay. So, this thing's taking up almost 30% drop right there, just the candle itself, I've got to say. And I don't care if you take a pounding from something like that, you've got to be exhausted. I'm just saying, you got to need to take a break. You can't just keep on going all night. I mean, well, I guess you're trying to make up for the big party we had over here. That was a healthy Viagra night right there, let me tell you. I'm just going to shut up. I think that's the best course of action for me to do right now. Shut up. Now, when we flip over to my candles, the Heikin-Ashi candles, some of it might be smoke and mirrors. A lot of it's got this little wick here. It's not the big the big candle we thought it was. Well, it's got some wickage. And the wickage represents some buy pressure. People are buying. We don't see it as much down here in this volume thing, but people are. But this is a great support area that we're at. And on the bigger picture of things, if we do zoom out, we went through this before, 382 pullback. That's golding. That's we take that as a bullish signal. On any other time frame, we'll pull back to a 382 if we can hold it and bounce from there. That's bullish strength signal. That means number still go up. We've been looking at some bullish hidden bullish divergence between some of the indicators and the daily time frame. We looked at some of that last night. So we got some signs here saying this could be the biggest flush out in crypto history. Definitely one of the most devastating ones, because they just keep rolling and rolling and rolling, and the things that have been hurt the worst have been our altcoins, and altcoins just suck. Outside of a few liars, I mean, everything else is and it's about its third or fourth round trip this cycle back to its bottoms from last drop. Some of them even lower than what they were last. When we thought the bear was when Bitcoin was at 15,000, some of these altcoins are lower than what they were there. It's crazy. I had to blame it on us. We just chase everything that's shiny in this Degen space. All right, so I came down to let's come down to the daily. And on the daily, we got Miss Lucy down here, and she just likes to hang out and cause trouble, mostly, is what I've always seen. People talking about the death cross that happened, and we know, okay. Also, the 100 moving average is trying to cross over that 200 moving average too, right? About 2 out of 3 times, and I've mentioned this a lot, and this is from my observation. I don't have a statistic or source to give you on this. This is just my personal experience and what I've come to understand. A lot of these bigger moving averages, when they cross, and we take that as bearish, and when we see that and hear that, the first thing we think is, well, there's a death cross or this or that. We must just keep making us move on down. I mean, maybe, okay, but most of the time, and especially with my experience with the 100 moving average crossing bearishly over the 200 moving average, or otherwise, you start to get a reversal back, and a lot of times you want to see price will want to go up there and talk to that 100 moving average. It's crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But just give it a chance. Give it a chance there. Try it out. See if it don't work for you. See if you... Now, bots, back in the old bot days, that would be one of the signals when you got the death cross 50 over the 200 as a, use a sell signal, right? Or a buy signal if it's crossing the other way. And I kept noticing, hey man, this bot strategy kind of sucks. And back testing that and everything with that moving average strategy there. And you find that, I mean, it's a bad signal. It's not good when they cross, but it doesn't mean it's immediate, okay? These are lagging indicators, by the way. And that gives them some nice little fluctuation room. So that's another thing that says that we could be coming back up 100. And if we do come down to come back to talk to the 100 moving average, it's got a good chance to have made its way down here to about 106 by that time. So we got some more confidence for that bounce argument. Did I mention that we're sitting on top of the 360 or the 666 moving average, which is kind of a new one for this particular time frame. But on all the other time frames, she's held up a lot like you see this purple line. And I would expect that we would see something happen a lot like this purple line, like right here. In fact, I believe No, it was this one over here. We borrowed that fractal, didn't we? We didn't use this fractal. I'm of the opinion, until proven otherwise, that, well, either this is a dead count bounce, and okay, that's good. That gives us a chance to de-risk, as long as you don't freak out and sell everything now, or, you know, capitulate on everything, leave crypto. I'm done. The bear market's here. I'm taking what I got, and I'm getting out. I'm not going to let them flush me out. Maybe they already did, if we do recover a little bit. Because, you know, if Bitcoin does go back up toward 100,000, whether it actually makes it there or not, altcoins are going to rally a little bit, or some good ones are, right? And if you haven't been paying attention, there's a lot of these altcoins right now, with Bitcoin being so low, they're actually up in the Bitcoin pair, meaning some of these altcoins you can sell and come out ahead on Bitcoin right now. I know, it's crazy, right? There's a few of them out there, not many, but there are a few. Ladies and gentlemen, let me come over and say hello to the 21 people hanging out with me tonight. And coming in first tonight, we got PMO, Postmodern Oddities, is first tonight. Congratulations, my man. I feel like I know you and you changed your name and now I don't know who you are. That's just how I feel. Well, not that I know you personally enough to go to Walmart with you or anything like that, but, you know, we know you by a different handle over here. We got Chris Klein. So I've noticed here that, and let's put this on live chat so we don't miss anything. I've noticed they started putting the @ signals, symbols over here on our names, and now it's not so much a handle, but I guess I don't know. It's not the handle, the username that normally shows. Now we got numbers behind them and everything. That's a little different. We got Chris Klein, who is second. How's it going? Thank you so much for being here, my man. And I see Dave P right here, just smashing it like it's hot. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw Floki's Angels in here. We got Stray, got my OG. I don't know, I'm lost count of how long that I've been streaming on here, but Stray has been here for the majority of it right there. She's naked down there. What's a creator to do? So I dare you to put a horse up. We're back on the intro right there. Toby Boy says, best crypto TA channel on the tube. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I like to think that it's given some kind of value out there, that somebody sees some value in it. That's all I need to know. I don't want to be sitting there just talking like, what's this turkey talking about? Jibber. And when you're new, it can sound like that, but hopefully, you know, you hang out, you find a place you can hang out, and especially if you're new to technical analysis at all, I'm hoping that I make it a way where you can, you just absorb it just by hanging out here. You just kind of absorb these principles and things. And we do go over a lot of different styles, and I think if there's anything that I do, I'll show you how a lot of these things kind of overlap, because they do. I'm not one of those out here trying to debunk something and say, oh, that don't work, and that don't work, and they say this is supposed to, you know, I'm not on that kind of take, because I've found there's good and there's strengths in all these, like Elliott Wave, even though it's subjective, but it's helpful in some ideas just to have some basic understanding of it, right? Wyckoff, that's a whole system in itself, which we might be seeing some of formulate over here. Just a accumulation or distribution, which means tops and bottom squares is basically what it is, little rectangles in a nutshell. But hopefully, you know, I present things in a way that kind of makes some dots click for you. I hope so. That's my goal. That bear swapped his Bitcoin for Cooter. That's a very keen observation right there, PMO. I gotta say. Well, Floki's Angels, I saw your comment earlier and I pulled it up, and I don't know where it is because I get lost in the chats over here. But Floki's Angels says, "Dog, I love your show." I love that comment, and we got this thing going on where this always gets applause. I can't help it. Diaz, how's it going, my man? Says, let's go. Gotta love some late night crypto. I was actually wanting to go a little earlier, but time got away from me. It usually does. Jay Epstein's Ghost says, feels like there's no more buyers. We can get them to stop selling. I think that was it. I think this is a flush of sales. Panic sales kicked off by whatever else kicked it off. Bigger manipulation. I say it as a manipulated play. We've got the big boys in this game now, and they play dirty, especially in a field that's not as regulated as where they come from. All the stuff they used to get fined for and in trouble for over there, well, it doesn't happen in crypto yet, so it's fair game. There are lots of dirty tricks that they know to do, and they got the resources to do it. That's my personal opinion. And whether you want to however you want to view it, in Wyckoff theory, that's the composite man, and that invisible evil force out there that we're trading against that's just always beating us up. The composite man, that expert trader out there that's always making all the right moves against us. The man, and it's a cool concept. And then we find in reality that a lot of it's human nature. A lot of it's market makers now, because we got that, and the big whales. There are manipulated plays out there, and market makers have a lot to do with that, right? They're out there trying to connect the buyers with the sellers, and sometimes they have to fill it in on the middle. It's a necessary evil. But sometimes they get caught up, and then they have to go through flush outs, and I think that's what we saw. And seems to be the rumor there that we're picking up on. And Tom Lee, I think, had something of a more famous analyst over there with a keen ear to all that stuff. So I called it a software glitch, which means we all got screwed for bullcrap. We all saw the worst performance in our portfolio, especially if there was any leverage on it. Because of some little software glitch, they didn't calculate something right, so it ends up wiping out all those billions. Well, those billions went somewhere. They went in somebody's pocket. Finance. I mean, I don't know, but I just... Oh. It went somewhere. It didn't just disappear. Somebody out there is saying, oh man, these are some fat stacks we made this week. Join my trading group. And they're being very tight-lipped about it. So it must have been a real good payday. Big money is buying the dip, but retail definitely isn't. No, retail is scared, and they're tired of it. And you definitely, and I can feel it. I mean, I'm there with altcoins. I'm like, dude, altcoins are... At some point, I'm sure we will see them come back into glory. But gosh darn, do you want to wait another 4 years? Because it's been damn near 4 years. We had an early top on altcoins before Bitcoin even had its halving, I think, right? If I remember right. Looks like what? Oh my gosh, can we say that on TV? I don't want to get banned like a crazy thing this morning, and I posted over in the lounge, but I was over on Twitter X as snap. Hey Ave, what you got going on right there? Hey. That does happen with Grok. There's all kinds of little nip slips and stuff. But Crypto Rand had this tweet out, an open letter to YouTube, talking. He got it. Maybe I got suckered in because I didn't read the name here. It says, what is it? Fifi Domini. It doesn't say the Rand channel or anything. Channel 100X Club. Okay, so it was. I think he is such a engagement. Maybe he's trying to pull everybody's leg. An open letter to YouTube and Neil Mahone from Rand Jr. But it said like his channel was deleted. Maybe I read it too quickly. Maybe I didn't, or maybe he wanted it to sound that way. I think it's still up and running from what I can see. But there have been some crypto channels that have been getting deleted or banned on YouTube. I think it's because of their clickbait titles, from what I understand, when they say things like the titles like "Make $1,000 a day with this strategy" and things like that. I think is what's getting them in trouble. And maybe even the this altcoin's going to 100x, all that kind of stuff. I think that might be what's triggering it. Anyway, let's come back to the chat here. See if we can catch up with the chat. Laughing my tonsils off on the backside. Bitcoin took out two major bullish order blocks at 94 and 85. It's a little wonder there's a huge wick on the Heiken-Dashi candle. Hey, that looks like Jim Derringer. You got a different name, Lunar Entity. Hey, gotta associate those two. How's it going, Jim? Good to see you. Miss Lucy's on a bender. Cooter Killer. No, they changed the names to email. Changed the names to email. But why? Haven says it's actually altcoin season. Just don't tell anybody. There's some plays that look pretty, you know. There are some coins accelerating against Bitcoin because Bitcoin's down. But that could be a good thing, right? I'm consolidating mostly into Bitcoin right now. That's my play. And when I can get stopped out on some of these other coin, because I've had a lot of stupid, well, yeah, basically stupid, a lot of different altcoin plays over there, which is the worst move that I could have possibly made this cycle in hindsight, to be spread out like that. But I got them stopped out, and a lot of them, and several of them are Bitcoin plays too. And so we're just stacking up the Bitcoin. I'm consolidating into Bitcoin, and that's working for me a lot better too, I've got to say. Yeah, look how odds are moving against Bitcoin right now. Yeah. Hey, dog, love your show. There's it. Hey, there we go. There's that comment. JP says, yeah, Kite is moving up. Jim says, a lot of market makers have negative balance sheets due to illiquidity in USDE and FUSD. USDE had to have an emergency liquidation trigger on October 10th to stabilize the stablecoin. Yes, that he's talking about, he knows. USDE unpegged to 61 cents. I thought I heard 65, but yeah, 61 on Binance, and that's catastrophic. And so most of crypto gets screwed because of that. And it turns out, I guess, you know, a lot of other exchanges are using the same pools. So, you know, I guess, you know, all the exchanges are basically trading in the same. We're all drinking out of the same glass, is what it sounds like. And it sounds like a bird pooped in it, and then we got to swallow it. That's my Cliff Notes version. Haven says, Eliza OS, I sold my road into that. No hard because I'm just trying to double it up before I re-enter road heavy. You can do whatever you want to do with road. The thing of road is, at the moment, I'm looking at in December, probably about the second week of December, the Telegram group will get gated, and well, the chart room anyway. I think the lounge was my area with the bot and everything will still be open. I haven't made my decision on that one. They'll probably still keep that one, but the other areas where I got the other rooms and section them off, it will go behind kind of a paywall, but it's not really. It's not a subscription paywall. It's like you have to have 10 million road, which is approximately somewhere about $50 right now, and that will give you access. And if you ever want, or if you bought, say if you bought 100, or if you bought more, and then the price goes up, because that will add value to the token and give it a utility. And so over value, you would think more people coming into it, they would be able to, it would increase the price, and you could profit from it. Or if you wanted to get out, you just sell it, right? Versus other trading groups that are charging you a monthly subscription, and you don't ever get the money back. You get a full refund. You can get a full refund from the trading group. How is that? But what I'm doing for my OGs, and I still haven't figured out the exact way to do it. I'm told how I can do it, but I haven't actually put in the practice. But the people that have been there, you know, I'm going to have it where you don't have to have the road. If you want to have it, you'll get some extra perks. We'll figure all that out. But, you know, I'm not trying to force all the people that have been there with me before to go out and spend money on Roadcoin, because that's not fair. But for new people coming in, that's going to be the requirement. The group's going to grow, and then I'll have an incentive to add things over there. And there should be some more incentives from the group members to actually build upon it too, since they're kind of part owners of it in a way. So you see how that works? The value of road goes up, more people come in, their road token goes up too, and you know, hey man, it might turn into something a little bit better than whatever most trading groups will give their members. FUSD also having the same stabilization issue, says Jim. The stablecoin was trading at 10x its market cap in volume during the Bitcoin spike, shooting to number 3 in volume among stablecoins. Dream Tanks TV says more pain coming to the downside. I just remembered to hit the like, says Strega. Well, my read is on it. Well, this is a great weekend for them to try to do that. Sunday going into Monday, see what they do. You do have some bearish crosses going on, but like we talked about earlier, a lot of times that doesn't, that can have the inverse action for at least for a little while. And I'm not saying that means we go to all new all-time highs, although some people are looking at that possibility, and by the Gann analysis that I'm looking at, it's screaming that. It's screaming that summer of 2026 is the shizzle. Not just for Bitcoin, but most things, it looks like. So it looks like something good is coming in 2026, somewhere in Q1. I don't know, and it's going to affect, especially going to affect Bitcoin. I don't know about your altcoins. That's why I'm shifting away from them. On my iTrustCapital Bitcoin or Crypto IRA, I'm going to try to put some more money in there December and then again in January. I'm going to try to take advantage of this as much as I can, especially Bitcoin down like this. I know you're saying that's stupid. We're just going into the bear market. This is going to be 15,000 again. Probably won't ever see 15,000 again on it ever again. My best guess is, maybe 50,000. And how far away were we from that? 30,000? How far can this one get? I'm just going to tell you some of the Gann analysis, which, like I said, I'm still taking this with a grain of salt as far as the prices go. The dates, though, I'm paying close attention to those dates and how we calculated that. But the time prices, even it's shooting up. We're talking about Tom Lee. What Tom Lee's thinking? He's thinking about 250. He's saying by January. I'm saying there might be a possibility to see $250,000 Bitcoin by July. Now, don't take that to the bank. And do keep in mind that on your bigger time frames, they show embarrassed stuff, just like we would be heading into a bear market. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping my minds open and focusing on Bitcoin, because I know when it's all said and done, I'm not going to go wrong if I go with Bitcoin, but I can go wrong if I go with too many damn altcoins. I can scientifically prove that. I'm going to write a thesis on that, get my doctorate on how to screw up your altcoin cycles. All right, so I'm going to come down to the 4-hour time frame here on Bitcoin. See a big ribbon flip, the 4-hour flip over here. It flipped good. It was finally, it did a slam. It did a weird one over here, right? We flipped bearish, but we didn't stay, and it looked like that was going to be the end, right? Oh man, we flipped bearish. Oh no, you'd think that we would have as much downside as we had on the upside when it flips, right? It's a very shallow one right here. What was this? What happened over here on this? I know I'm on the 4-hour, but this was down. We were 49,000. Price ran up, did a double top around 109, and then it pulled back down here, just a little bit below that particular 50 moving average on that little guy, on that little particular move. And wouldn't you know, we're right back in these same little areas. Isn't that crazy? That's so crazy. It's so crazy that over this year that Bitcoin has given back all of its damn gains that it had. All this year's gains are just, this is, for a full year, November of 2024, we were rising into where we are right now. This was when the fun was starting and crypto was taking off, and when altcoins were going up here to some of their best prices. Man. And here we are right back there, same place, round trip it. And I know by all accounts, we broke a trend line, so we want to be aware of that. The bearish scenario would be if we get a bearish retest off of that, which would kind of look like what we're doing right now, to be honest with you. Yeah, it sure does. Oh my God, you're saying we're going to go up, and here we are. It's doing, you can make a clear-cut argument we're in bear market. It's given all the little confirmations. This could be another one right here, that rejection off of 85, and maybe it breaks 80 and we start working down toward the 70, the next little fib area here at 0.5 Fibonacci. or we're doing some kind of accumulation through here. So anybody that's trying to short, their best ideas so far for the last day or most of the day has been all these retests that we've had at 85,000 have not held. And when you zoom out, now you can see why. We got that trend line that's bumping its head up against. So on this particular time frame, unless price gets above that 9 moving average right there, that little green line, well, you can entertain the idea they might be right. And then you might have, a measured move, and like whether you want to look at it as a bear flag or an AB equals CD, could take you down to the $72,000 area. A lot of people be looking at that. Does it have to happen all at once? No. I mean, it happened all at once over here, and it might continue doing that, but that would suck. Wouldn't suck. It would suck. We've got our moving averages very spread out here. Now, usually they don't stay too spread out, but I'm checking out the 9. We rode right underneath the 9. That's what we got to see. We got to see it regain the 9 moving average and try to start climbing through these in a sequential order here from the 9 to the 21 to the 50. Bounce through here and try to recover the 100. It's got a little sequential order of kind of like a dance that it does with our moving average strategy anyway. Let's come over and take a look at total 3 on altcoins, our indices over here real quick, because they've been beat it up. Well, first let's take a look at S&P 500, just because. If I can remember how to do this, I think, yeah, we click on it like that. So it was looking interesting. It looked like it was trying to break out of what would be a bearish pattern. It is a bearish pattern. This kind of squeezing triangle shape, however we want to draw it, like that way, that's the most relevant one. It's done something over here. You could even draw it something like that, but we kind of lost that little guy, right? Or did we? Is it just going to be a big channel that we find support on? I don't know. So there's been some sell-off in tech stocks and Bitcoin. Some of them are even thinking Bitcoin was an indicator of that. Now, if they continue coming down, what's that effect is that going to have on crypto? Well, altcoins probably suffer the worst of it. But will that force Bitcoin down more? I mean, there's that way to look at it. But is it over for the S&P 500, or are they just going to get a little pullback and then do something a little better? I don't know. There's a meme coin, SPX 69,000. It's ironic that that's actually where we kind of topped out here, is that 69,000 target there. I think that was part of the meme and their goal. Well, goal completed. There is a resistance underneath that trend line. Kind of falls in line there. We need to see this one gain, come back for a pullback and then gain some traction here. It may be that point, that 382 fib. We may see it have to come all the way back down here to this area, which is a retest of this area over here. That makes perfect sense. Come back and retest this guy. And I don't know, will that have an effect on crypto too? This is daily candles. This could happen over several weeks there. Just to drop. It's about 6 or 7% there. If that happens, I'm not so sure that that these areas would hold. You could probably start looking at 60, 70,000 or even lower. But we don't want to break this guy over here at 74. We really don't even want to get him any closer. Listen, this is the 886 retracement of this guy over here. We do not. If we lose this, then we are entertaining the basement levels for our fib strategy, right? And we can go ahead and get those guys up here too. Just for this move here, it starts pointing out towards 67 and even 59,000 back to retest these areas that we're here at September 2024, and that's no bueno. That would definitely make it feel like the bear market is here, right? But I gotta say, for the bear market, when we're on a daily time frame, to me, it looks like what we see on the smaller time frames with the moving averages, where we just come down and test these guys and then bounce back up. Doesn't it? Do you see any difference here? Unless we actually see more of these start to really wane out, but the bigger ones, the 800, the 600, the 360, they still got some strength behind them right now. If nothing else, we can see a snapback. We got a 200 moving average sitting at 109,000 and price is at 84. At some point, these two guys have got to go talk to each other. Now, if I just, let them meet in the middle, that should take us somewhere close, to around 98,000, something like that. Just that idea. Just saying. Well, our 9 moving average on the daily is coming in at 91,000, and here we are, way down here. Way away from the 9, and you know how it likes to touch the 9. Sometimes it likes to mount the 9 and get above it. That's what we really like to see. We're just caught up with the devil in the details over here right now on the daily. Exactly where we are. Poor Bitcoin. As she's starting to roll over here. I like the big thicker cloud. That's cool. 9 above the 21 on the 1 hour time frame. But she's giving it up, and so what do you expect for the weekend? When they run us up a little bit on the Friday or the weekend, we had some trouble over here. So let's measure Bitcoin and let's look at the strength of this move. And I was kind of pleasantly surprised from where we were, 88,000 down here to our new low here at 80,600, that we did give above the 0.5 area, and we at least need that, right? And we got rejected off the 618. That's where we've been getting rejected off. Standard area to get rejected off of, okay? Standard run of the mill. Before we had that low, we were actually looking at 84.7. Still about the same things, very, very close to it. But now we got that new low, we change accordingly. Well, it looks like we did get rejected there, and you can look at it that we lost a trend line. A very curvy kind of trend line, not a solid trend line. I think the best way to draw it would be kind of something a little bit like this. And it made a triangle shape, a little bit level over here. This is a descender. Now, they normally break to the upside about 64% of the time, but they're also viewed as a continuation pattern too. Since price came in from the top, it could continue on down. These are I don't usually trade these guys or put much faith in these guys, symmetrical triangles or ascending or descending, because when I was learning pattern trading, you find out what they were supposed to do, they didn't do half the time or more. And you think they'd be continuations, but they can be reversals, and it's not a bad thing to see these things form at bottoms like we got here. So I take these with a grain of salt, and I try to use different ways other than pattern tracing. But trend lines, you can't beat a trend line. Oh my god, why is it so sleepy? Coffee. Oh, I never changed my coffee ad either. Hello? Sean, can you get that? Alright, so we did make it up to some good areas, but we got rejected at 618 Fibonacci, which is normal. But what we can do now is pull from the bottom, swing low to swing high to that area. And if we are bullish, we want to see it catch somewhere right in this zone, somewhere between the 382, maybe the 0.5, but the 382 would be sweet. If we're really in a nice move that we're trying to bounce off of, that's where I would expect it. And it's why we can still regain this 200 moving average and not start closing so many candles below it. Can wick down here and then get back up and just be on our happy little ways up. And we got a good target from this, which takes us up to about 87.5. And then maybe we can get us lucky enough to get this $88,000 area. It's almost 88,800, which Bitcoin has an affection for the 8s. And I guess in some way a 4. Maybe it's related to the cycle, maybe it's not, I don't know. So we got that idea for A B equals CD if we do bounce off of this area. If not, we're looking at retesting this area about 83. That was about our 0.5 area, give or take just a little bit. Lines up pretty nicely there, 83, 100 to 200. the very worst situation, we would be coming back here, but since we cleared it out over here, with how we had this price action, I don't see a good argument yet for us to have to do that. And if this is a bottom out and a flush out, I would really be looking a little bit more for the 382 to hold. It's the weekend, so I've got my doubts that 83 would, that they wouldn't try to run us down here. So maybe the lower 83,000, see if that will stick over the weekend, is kind of what I'm looking at if we go that low. And trying to look for a new trend line. Now I can take this angle here and I can bring it right down here to these guys, to these candle bodies down here, and keep that same angle. And sometimes that's a little trick that I use to help me identify a channel that just hasn't fleshed out yet. And when I come and look over here, look what's happening. Now, do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think that might be a little technique that has a little bit of usefulness? That's one of my favorite techniques to use with trendline magic's what I call it. And if I can just grab that trend line, sometimes it's hard to grab them, and put it up here and see what I get. And you also see this stuff going over here with oh, you can't see it. What's going? Oh yeah, you can. And candle bodies where it was support, candle bodies where it's resistance, wicks where it's resistance. So we've identified a channel right here. So it's very imperative for, I wanted to use that word today, imperative. It's very imperative that we hold this area here on the very 6-minute time frame. 200 moving average needs to hold support. Trend line needs to hold support. And so that's one of the things I look at. Still can't get wick down here to touch this fib area because, well, sometimes you see that happen. But we zoom into the 1 minute. Wow, that little miraculous trend line that we just drew, which is, you know, now valid. Holding strong. That's a technique that you will see me use a lot right there, using angles from previous trend lines. Okay, so some of you might find it helpful. Sometimes I don't get it. I don't get what I don't get it. Why don't you just draw a line from here to here? It's not so much about me drawing visually a line. It's for me verifying that this previous idea that we were looking at, that there was already a channel there. This is just a bigger part of the channel. We just went to the extremes of it, and by the time frame that we applied it to, we had a valid argument that, hey man, this logically could be where we bounced. Another thing I could do here is go from this low to that high over here and look at our fibs. And also, do you see where we're at? We're at the 1.113, the magical reversal area. Yeah, that's harmonic, my personal. So we got some good confidence on the very small time frames that this is a good support area, and that maybe we'll bounce up a little bit on the weekend and hopefully not lose this channel that we just now discovered. All right, so I think I'm done with my TA on all these 1 minute and 6 minute time frames on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at FET. That was a request from Shahida. So this is Fetch AI. Let's take a look at it on Binance, and man, it's had a beating. It's seen some better days. I've got a bag of this that is staking. I haven't done anything with it because, well, I forgot about it. Man, you remember when Chat GPT first came out? I mean, very first came out when the AI, and then all the AI coins started going crazy. So what was this, about 2 years ago? Has it been that long? Well, she's come a long way in 2 years. It may have been longer, maybe been 3. I saw somebody working with AI and then to come up with a list of 100x coins picked by AI based on the fundamentals and things like that. And I've still got that list on my whiteboard over here. And I just think it'd be interesting just to check to see how that performed. One of them that we've been looking at recently that's been on that list for a while, well, 2 of them, Serum and Telcoin are on there. But there's a lot of them on there that, man, I haven't even heard mentioned in about as long as I wrote it on my whiteboard. So AI is a useful tool. And I've been using it to help me also to understand some of the Gann analysis too, but you got to be very cautious with it. And you can't believe everything it says. Now you can use it for doing some more advanced math and calculations and things like that, and to figure out some things, analyze some stuff. But still, you got to keep your eye on it. You got to keep your eye on it. It is just a tool. It's not a magic 8-ball with all the answers. It's just a tool, and sometimes it seems like it's more about trying to please you than actually. I don't know. I've had some conversation. I've had it where it actually scolded me. It scolded me. It misunderstood what I was saying for one thing. It was freaking scolding me for. I was like, my gosh. It was after an update or something, I guess. So we're looking at Fetch AI. Let's zoom out to the daily. And this is the main trend line we broke, and that kind of sucks. All this other stuff really doesn't matter there. Looks like we... Should we just go with some new stuff here? I'd like to just look at it brand new. I'll get the same stuff. Draw our main trend line there, which is... okay, support resistance, yeah. So wow, that is really, really deep retracement right there. Swing low to swing hard. Tell me where I need to buy. And you're hanging out the 2.7s. You hit the okay, nice. Where you where are you? Alright, so I see some great fib levels from there. Let me come down and check this one over here too. Right. Nice. We're really respecting this 1.13 area. It's got a chance to be finding at least some kind of bottom over here. It'd be nice if this turns into a bear trap, getting back above this trend line. That involves us getting above 47 cents. And pattern-wise, locally, you know, you got this squeezing, possibly a falling wedge, more of a shallow falling wedge. And part of probably a bigger one, if you want to take that look. And that one should have a... Oh, no! That's gorgeous. That's really gorgeous right there. And I always like the bigger patterns when you zoom out and get those. I think that's really more accurate. A huge ass. It does fit. It didn't look like it was going to. It looked like it had too much curve, but no, that fits really nice. Huge ass falling wedge, which, according to Thomas Bukowski, has a 68% chance to break to the upside based on that idea. It's just like, when is it ever going to do it, right? It took it this long to finally get down here. It's pressing right up against the top there. Let's see, 600 is above the 800 moving average. That alone gives me hope that we can come up above here, and just eyeballing it and be right over here, the 140, $1.40 area. We pull our fibs from this high to this low. The 236 is so killer of identifying that first support resistance flip area that's so important. That's why I love this method. It's so simple, it's so easy. And such a good one. Such a good thing for swing traders. If you're a swing trader not using fibs, man, oh man, you don't know what you're missing out on. I gotta give you something over here at the 0.5. Looking over here, looking at the moving averages that are kind of pointing the way toward it. So it's for FET, it doesn't seem like it now, especially with everybody screaming bear market, and you're like looking at these altcoins saying, but we've been in a bear market all damn cycle. For the last year, we've been in a bear market with these things. Look, and that's true. So how much further down can these altcoins go? Might be on some of them might be a question you don't want answered. But it looks, I mean, it falls into I think it falls into a 2026 narrative. I think we are going to see something different. Now, I'm not going to sit out here and just swear by it and be that one like BitBoy was last time, saying, we're going up to 150,000. Mr. X says it's a guarantee. We're going to 100,000. Bitcoin will never go below 47K again. But I've said for a long time, if there ever is a cycle where there would be extended or super cycle where things change, especially for Bitcoin, it will be when global adoption comes. And I'm just staying true to that idea too. So we do have bear markets, but I am not treating Bitcoin so much like I'm expecting it to go down to $10,000 or anything like that. But I am looking at altcoins a lot less, because as long as Bitcoin is going to be the main player, the main spotlight, is going to be center stage, well, altcoins are going to perform like that they have, and some of them have done good. But most of them have just been an endless black hole. Or so it feels. And I would rather not. I would rather focus on the winners here. Alright, so I do see a possibility it breaks up, but I think the main target we need to look at right now would be trying to come back up to retest that 60 cent areas. Right now it's saying anywhere under 60 cents is a pretty good place to build a bag of it. It's how I interpret it right through here. All right, let me go back to the chat and we'll get back on target here. 22 people hanging out. Thank you so much for being here. Road Dawg's always killing it. I killed White. Thanks for. Don't tell everybody. I don't need the FBI around here again. Thanks for the top-down view and helpful analysis. Bobby Oz, how's it going, my man? Good to see you. I can't believe Kite. You keep talking about Kite. Is that anti-Semitic? Asking for a friend. Okay. Never mind. No wonder the show never goes anywhere. Okay, Kite's okay, wait, look, it's still in the range. I mean, it's good. It is going up. This is on the 4 hour. Maybe it's getting some traction. It's above the 9. That's looking good. Deviating from this trend line. A Thetum curve. Well, they got a little side boob going on right here. Yep. I see ya. Checking out that side boob. Nice sidage. It could be curving up. And so what is this, about 11 cents up here at the top of the trend line? Possible area. It went up 13. 12 and 13 a couple of times. It's been a while back. Not too far back, just in November back. Like this is November, like a few days back. Yeah. That's about 30% gains right there. My take on it, give you targets if you're looking for something that breaks up there a little bit. 786. I'd look for this one first, right just under 12 cents. And we got our little bonus higher high area right here at 14 cents. Those are some good ones. We could fine tune a little bit more, but at this stage in the game, those are the first ones I would be looking at to hit. Another one around 12 and a half, and then another one about 15, but we'll look at that after we see the response that we get here. Day P has 3 Lambos. Still too lazy to remember all the harmonics. Hey, you don't have to. We'll just if hopefully we'll start picking up on it. I think it's easier for me to go over my way of doing it rather than bringing out the tool. I think the tool makes it look confusing, but then again, I don't know. I've got a lot of fib pools, right? But there's some basics to it. It's all based off of AB equals CD. And then if it's not an ABCD, it means it made a 786 or something, right? I think. Can we do this? When you see people use a fib, pull a Fibonacci. If we can pull a Fibonacci, can we not pull one? Can we please pull one? When you see people pull a Fibonacci from high to low, I mean, you got some kind of price action thing going on, right? And when you first learn about the fibs and get into it, you know, usually it's told, everybody's telling you look for the golden pocket, blah blah blah, 618 Fibonacci, and still that's all that some people ever look for. And that's cool, but you notice like things don't always it doesn't always come back to the 618. And when you first get into it, I mean, and like what we talk about here, we use it to measure the strength of moves. And now bouncing off of these higher ones, very strong. Deeper retracements here, and lose the 886 area, and then we can visit basement areas. If we can maintain the 382 area, we got a better chance to go into the attic. That's one way to look at it. But based off where we bounce off the get-go, we're taking a measure move. So if we bounce off of a 382, that can get us potentially a full measure move. This is ironically the same thing as if we take this guy. It should work here. When we do this, it's a one-to-one move. All right. So if we use our regular extension tool, and we go from a low to a high into our pullback, let me get my original fib off of here. You see what number's coming up there? 100%. That means it's 100%. It's a one-to-one move. This measure is equal to that. And so when you pull your fib extensions, that's what you kind of look for the AB equals CD. And what you see some analysts like Crypto Savvy, he uses this technique when he uses fib extensions. And that's the same thing. It goes to 100%. I've got all this stuff encoded into my regular fibs, and so I do it a little bit different, but it still all comes out the same. But okay, so that's our best one, and that's a bear setup, right? I'm just telling you, this is part of my bread and butter. What I found that really works, and I look for on everything. I look for all this, and you don't always get an AB equals CD, right? But when you don't, I want to see where do we bounce from. All right, so there's going to be one of two things that happen. You got one peak in. Either you're going to make a higher high, or you're going to make a lower high. That's critical. All right, so if you come up and make a higher high, it's usually at one of these guys. It's a 113, a 1.13, or a 1.27. I mean, there's some variations there, but that's typical. This is very typical for a very common pattern called the bat, I believe, right? No, not the bat. Not the bat, the shark. The sharky shark, I believe. So I'm still learning the names for all this stuff. But let's just say, okay, let's say we make a lower high, because that's common. That's common, okay? Well, where would that lower high be? Okay. Well, we figured that out by pulling from this top to the bottom. And right now I got it at 618, and that could be. All right, but mostly we're looking for these areas over here. I look for these. It could be any of these, and we pay attention. But where it does fall down from will help us figure out where we will look for our support, right? But in the majority of cases, as a general rule of thumb, just to make this so much simpler, let's say we do our higher low, and usually it's a 786, maybe sometimes an 886, and then we start coming down, right? As a general rule, just to make this easier so that we don't have to get into all this, look, we got this, and we're sharking, we do shit, all this stuff right here. As a general rule, just to make it easy. There are a few exceptions where this won't play out. But the general one you're looking for is your 786 and especially your 886. More of your patterns will come back to an 886, and a lot of people don't even have an 886 on their fibs. They're not looking for it. So this is something that kind of caters more to the actual harmonic traders and people that use the 886. A lot of your other gurus and stuff, they only know about a 786, and then when it goes below it, they have no explanation for why. If you have an 886 fib on there, you can say, oh man, that was your support. I mean, you can still get a good strategy around whatever technique that you're using, but the more that you learn about it, I think the more accurate that you are. And so some of these people will just say, well, I guess we come down and bounce off the 7/8, and it comes down lower, or whatever. We know they're not, well, it's just because they don't understand this concept. But I would expect it to come back down here to this area when it gets a lower low. And what you find out is that the pattern traders are all up there, and this is where a lot of them are just trying to keep making a bigger flag to the upside, right? You start seeing all this stuff and all this, and in reality, we got something else that's going on, and in the harmonic system, it gives you a head up a little bit about it. And then we got an idea of targets, and they're trying to figure it out all the way and chasing things on the 1 minute and drawing flags and chasing poles or whatever situation they got there. If they're not are looking for other areas of support and resistance, or really what I see most of them do is look and see whatever bookmap's saying, and then take measure moves and draw it to the bookmap target. This measure move goes right at bookmap says here. But hopefully, maybe this kind of, if I can put this into like cliff notes as a general rule of thumb for things to look for. And I think you see me doing this a lot, and that's why we're using these same old targets. But the cool thing is, after it does its lower high there and comes down, hits our target. Now we got a set of targets for it to hold when it comes back up. And this is where you see me gauge the strength of the move. Now, I always like to do this guy, the 236, because that lets me know that we can accumulate through here, and this is the best place to build a bag. A lot of times, this is where we get our double bottoms here, type 2 returns. We make a W or even a triple bottom or something here. Not always. Sometimes it just goes straight up from here, but usually we get some kind of bottoming formation here. And then our first target is the 382. Second target is the 618. And these are the main places that we look for to take profits, where we look for the biggest rejections or pullbacks that happen there. And now, as a general rule, you always see me come out with this guy here at the 0.5. I don't use it. You can use it as a target, but I use it to kind of figure out, well, is this thing going to stick, or is this thing turning into, is there something bigger? Because some of these harmonic patterns have some deeper targets down here too, right? And that's what opens the doors to the basement area on my fibs. I got them coded in here. I've got the negative 0.272, the negative 0.382, the negative 414, and the negative 0.618. And those are my little cheat codes, so I don't have to go and pull out the extension tool and do some other stuff, right? But that's just my rule. If we can't get past the 618, then we're either hanging here, or there could be some signs for coming down lower, and I want to start looking for that. But these are the two main targets there, and that's just the starter targets. All right, your main targets are really right back up here to where we topped out. So you're talking about the 886s, the 786, and even getting up here to the higher ones over here, the 113s. So if you can use the fibs to look for these whole things as they unfold the way that I do it, whereas if we're looking for this thing, most of the people playing this, they're falling in longer, they're projecting ahead, and then waiting for a confirmation to get in. By what we got going on, I got system, it's a way for me to kind of play it as it folds out. So it gives me opportunities to long and shorts when I can catch them or recognize it, right? And that's a lot of times, that's why you see me go here and check price action, and I'm pulling fibs at just these places that may seem kind of random to most people, but it's not. Sometimes it's random. Sometimes I'm playing with stuff, but you'll see me take a fib, and I might not do anything with it. I might just be taking note of it. I'm just seeing where are you bouncing though? Oh, okay, 0.5. Okay. Let's see, are you trying to do this? Are you trying to do that? Would that fit in this scenario? Would a lower low down here to like 3 cents, would that really be feasible for what you got going on here? Or are you doing something else? Just kind of going through those things. I don't know if any of that made sense, We got 26 people rather than 13, so at least people stuck around. People don't really like to stick around when people go into teaching mode sometimes. Jerome better make the money printer go burr soon. They need to. Great song, says Chris Klein. 15 minutes after it went off, and I have no idea because I'm late coming back here. I'd like to request ICP, says Jim. Says spot orders at 372 and 294. Iron spot orders there. Let's see, where was it? Was it in the $3 recently? I thought I saw it at 4 something. 372 and 294. Let me write those down there. Okay, we'll take a look at ICP. Strega says, love those M tops. They look like boobies. I need to read those dang old books in the Telegram. Those books are there to help, man. And for those of you guys that don't know, all throughout here, I think you can get it from anywhere. Even in the regular lounge section, I've got a ton of books and material over here. What is all this? But especially over in the chart room area. And I don't think they're sorted by topic. They might be. Maybe they are. Yeah, I don't see it. Let's go over to, we're in the chart room. Go to the classroom. If you click the classroom, yeah, there we go. Okay, so they are in the topics. But there's a ton of books over there. Books that you would pay good money for if you wanted to actually purchase them from a bookseller. However, we have a free lending library. The only catch is, I think to make this legal, you are required to try to bring them back. Now, I don't know if you have problems mailing them back, or it doesn't add. We won't hold that against you. But the responsibility on you is if you do download these, to temporarily read, that you do try to. I don't know. Anyway, there are some books here that are available. A lot of them come from PDF Drive, which is a cool site that you can get free stuff. And one of the best ones, especially if you're a pattern trader. Oh, look, there's a trading Bible. There's some of them over here. There are a lot of them here I've yet to read too. It's harder for me to read digital books. I like real books. And so a lot of mine are real. And one that I'm still trying to study and learn more from is one by Larry Pesavanto. I saw him, and he was doing things the way that I've done them, but he was so much better at it than I am. So I resonated with him because his style was the closest I've seen to my style, and he's better. So he's going to be my new mentor, I believe, or who I look to as a mentor. But yeah, you got Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns over here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to pull it up. Can we do this? How do you open it? Oh, okay, we'll try that. So, and I mean, this is if you're looking at a chart, all the stuff that I share here, and I agree for most of it. There's some things I don't agree with Thomas Bukowski on when it comes to like Head and Shoulders. We have a little, I'm a little bit more picky than he is on them. But he does agree you don't put them in the wrong places. But, all these breakout statistics, 68% chance this pattern breaks to that side or whatever. Most of your gurus out here that have not really, they call themselves pattern traders, but you can tell that they haven't really did a deep dive in it. When they start calling the patterns, every pattern has the same percentage. Like this pattern breaks up or down 68% of the time. That comes from a trading group that I was into, because I started noticing, man, my mentor saying every pattern breaks out 68% of the time. It came from the falling wedge. Then that guy was just too lazy to actually look up statistics. And I don't know if you ever hear Joe used to work for the guy. Joe actually went out and dug up all these different things and presented it to him. Hey, look, these are actually the thing. And the guy says, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, everything's 68%. And you see that carried over from one trading group to another trading group, and then all of a sudden you got misinformation out there about, this pattern, this triangle, 68% chance to break it up. Head and Shoulders, 68% chance this one breaks it up, or 68% it breaks down. It doesn't matter. Whatever it's going to do, they're always assigning 68%. And that tells you, well, there's a bunch of BS or smoke and mirrors or covering up a lack of knowledge where it's easier to tell you some misinformation or information that they don't want to verify so that they can get your money and teach you how to trade this market like a true professional sniper when they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I just think that says a lot to me. But there are, this is what swung me over to get into TA, was like when I found out, oh, you mean the patterns, they have a percentage, some of them play out better than others. Oh, that's important to me, and that changed my whole strategy. I don't know, it just meant something to me. But this is the guy that he's got the correct statistics. All right, he's the nerd that figured all this stuff out. He's a legend. The legend, Thomas Bukowski for pattern traders. And he also goes over Elliott Wave and stuff. If you go to thepatternstock.com, it's a free version kind of this book, of this encyclopedia that you can reference. But at least you get a whole book that actually goes over good trading stuff and everything else. A lot of detail right there. But there's all other kinds of resources over here. The guy that I have been this guy right here, Larry Pesavento. Now he's got some books out there, and he's also overlaps with GAN. And so he does harmonics and he likes GAN. And I'm like, dude, you're my dude, man. You're my dude. But he's also got some books out, and so I'm starting to check out some of his books. And I think this is the one that I've got called Trade What You See. But he's got this one called Astro Cycles, where we start touching in on the GAN stuff. And he put that one out in 1987. That one. And Harmonic Vibrations, 1997. This dude is, from what I've seen from him so far, yeah, I just hadn't had time to really dig in as deep as I want to with what he's going over. But a lot of the new stuff that you see me doing, and some of it's coming from his take on it. Jenny still won't skate with me, Sis Strega. I know, she's weird that way. She's kind of a little snob sometimes. But her boobies make up for it. Hey, girl. Postmodern Oddity says, December 1st, baby. Rate cuts going up to, and that would come in on, and like I said, I'm not seeing, if the GAN stuff I'm kind of looking at holds true, I'm looking somewhere around the second week of December before we start seeing the effect. And I mean, I don't know, I'm not swearing by that, but that's, I at least got something that I'm keeping my eye on for. And if so, then it's going to be choppy whale games, playing games and trying to flush out Bitcoin until that happens, in my personal opinion. I think the big boys are serious about stacking up their Bitcoin. And man, they're making it look bearish. They're making it look bearish AF. Just getting rejected on that 382. That's not what we need. We need to hold this guy's support. And they may be trying to run us down again this weekend. I don't know. Right now, let's see. On the 1 hour, I'm seeing the 9 over the 21. Now that's good. So same thing we were doing from this wick. We're going to take from this bottom wick at 80,000. And what we want to see is, we want to see it catch here, which may not happen, right? I think we talked about this earlier. That would be the greatest scenario, but if nothing else, maybe we come down for a higher low, somewhere around 81.7. Maybe they do that Saturday night, Sunday night. Who knows? That they can play games, and we could be making this could be part of a W pattern over here. Maybe they take us down a little bit, but there are some good things over here, even on the 1 hour as we go into the weekend. Ichimoku clouds nice and thick in a good spot to where we can get underneath her and then start rising above her. So this kind of price action right here, as we go Saturday into, well, this is still Saturday. I don't know. I mean, time-wise, I don't know. But sometimes we find ourselves under it and getting into it, and it can spit us out over here. And as soon as we can take out a higher high, that's the sign we want to look for, and then we can get a higher low. That would be awesome. Whether it happens that way, we yet to see. We're under a lot of resistance, but for right now, that's what I'm looking for. And hopefully, we're not going to see us start having heavy dumpage and break this area, because, well, that would be kind of bearish, right? And that could start taking us down to that $78,000, $79,000 area for the 50.5 fib level on the bigger tote. But we'll see what they're trying to do this weekend. But meanwhile, while Bitcoin is doing that, you know, our others chart, let's take a look at others. On the daily, how you doing? This is our altcoins, how they're doing. Yeah, they're not very happy. They're not very happy. Most of the altcoins aren't very happy outside the top 100. So others still can be climbing down here to this 190 something billion, 189, 190 something billion dollars. Another 10 billion could be coming out, but still moving averages over here. Not bad. They're not bad. We could snap back to this. We could snap back. Like we've snapped back several times. I mean, here's an idea. I mean, we were below the 800 before. We snapped back to the 200, below it before, snap back above the 200. I think we could do something similar over here. It doesn't mean that it happens this weekend. Might happen over the next week or two. I don't know. That's most of the altcoins there. Let's take a look at total 3. I want to take a look at total 3 against Bitcoin. Look at this. This is total 3 against Bitcoin on the daily. Now that's spelling a different story. That's saying that this is telling us that some of our bigger altcoins are actually outperforming Bitcoin right now. That's cool. This is total 3 against Bitcoin. Let's try others against Bitcoin. Not as much, right? Others is excluding the top 10. Total 3 is everything except Bitcoin. Stacks is cheap. Stacks is down. Let's come over here and take a look at some of these things in this market. Let's go to the gainers and losers and try to look at the getting the top 1,000. There's a lot of them that I don't even recognize. A lot of the smart ones. There's Eliza OS that Haven was talking about earlier. It's up 19% today. Here is the top 100. And World Liberty Finance, you're starting to make some headway. Bitcoin Cash, go figure that one out. Yeah. So let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash against the dollar and then against Bitcoin. So this is it in cash. It's $527. Let's zoom out to, let's go 3 day or something. We looked at it since she was over here. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with it. Imagine the accumulation zone. This is one of the few ones that did not come back and is not lower than where it was in 2023. Amazingly, when it was hanging around $100 and $125. It was a slow ride. A slow play. But we seem to be in this range. Haven't really got above 700. Haven't really been able to get too much above 635. Will we get above it this time? Swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. We got a 0.5. You got a 0.5er. Those can get tricky. They're not technically harmonics, but they can be. And the targets I look for on this guy is right over here. It's actually these two fib areas. They're so close together. I'm just going to go with this one for right now. But it's hinting that our next higher high could be as high as $800. Sounds crazy, I know, right? That's totally crazy. Also gives us some confidence right around our 1.13 from this guy right over here. So could it happen? Man, that would be great. But what does it look like? So if Bitcoin Cash is going up, and you know it was down at 460 and now it's at 520, and Bitcoin is hanging out, or maybe just even going down a little bit, that kind of means that Bitcoin Cash, that old dinosaur coin, is actually, if you're trying to make some Bitcoin. Here on the 3-day chart, by the way, Market Cipher just gave us a little green dot there. It could be good, could be wishy-washy. There could be a little better signs here, but it's not horrible. Stochastic's going up. Money flows a little wishy-washy, but everything else looks like it's trying to do something. There could be some more upside here on Bitcoin Cash, and so let's take a look at it against Bitcoin. So even if you bought Bitcoin Cash in dollars right now, if you could sell it into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin chart has a little bit of a different story. It's got a different story. So back when Bitcoin Cash was doing really good against Bitcoin, a couple of years ago there, or last year, we're looking for this guy right now at 0.007. Now from where we are now up to there, it would be an additional about 20%. Now, if you're looking at this on the pullback after we went up to 0.005 and came down to 0.045, say you got in there in the happy medium, 0.0048, where this fib area is, and we go up there, that's 60% return. You get 50% extra Bitcoin on this play. You put $500 worth of Bitcoin, or $500 in, and then you get $750 worth of Bitcoin out of it? Or, you can't really do it in dollars. You got to put, you put 0.1 Bitcoin in and you take 0.16 out. There. You can't do that very often in the market. And right now with some of these boomer coins, you can. So Bitcoin Cash is one of them. I'm playing this. I'm also looking at Zcash, which I think, who's that guy? What's his name? The one that keeps trading away all of his money and begging for people to do donations, and then maybe he gets lucky and makes money and he thinks rules the world. James Wynn, whatever. I saw that he put a post up that he's shorting Zcash. And maybe, she's topping out. She's at a top area. Well, not quite to my top areas, but she's at a good area. Maybe. What are we looking at over here? Let's look at Zcash, ZEC against Bitcoin. That's what I'm curious about. How are you looking against Bitcoin? We're in a parabola. Oh, she did a harmonic pattern here, which played out. Okay. Let's do a different one. I want to keep this one. ZEC. Was that here? CoinEx. Okay, yeah, we can do this one. So are we on the daily? Now, first of all, the daily, we got the MACD trying to cross. However, she did it one other time, but it only happened one day. Wouldn't that be cool if that's what we're doing on the monthly Bitcoin one? That would be awesome. It would take a hellacious green candle to help us out on Bitcoin monthly too. Here's Zcash Bitcoin testing the 21 moving average. It could still be in a nice uptrend. Ichimoku Cloud kind of suggests that too. It's kind of a tricky area to play this one right now. And I would take that in consideration. You're losing that. Here we are on the 4 hour. We'll just take your old fibs up here. So, and here we got this guy. I just want to
cut to the chase and get this little guy out here. So I do see a situation where this one might be coming. And now you could short it against Bitcoin. This is against Bitcoin, maybe. Or we could just find something else to get into that's actually working against Bitcoin and see what plays out with this one. But this one's on a possible decline. It could come back up and come back down, but she's going to be either choppy or not really the best play right now for Zcash. She's already had her go. However, one like Zen BTC might be worth looking at now. Horizon and Bitcoin. How are you doing? Are you doing it yet? No. We had a request look at ICP. I've not forgot that. I've got that. We'll do that next. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in play. Take a look at Litecoin, Bitcoin. No. They're just kind of hanging out right now. I don't see anything that looks like it's got a juicy entry to get into just yet. Let's take a look at ICP. We'll take a look at it against Bitcoin. How are you looking against Bitcoin? She's still on a pullback too for this one. And depending on, let's see, let's go with the impulse move there from bottom to high. A lot of them pointing toward the 786 area right there. 0.000. It's 4 zeros and 417. Going down a little bit there. About 20%, I think. Yeah, close to 20%. It could be falling there against the Bitcoin price. Take a look. ICP. Oh, it was Jim that asked for that. I'm sorry. ICP against Tether. And I think Jim said, if I remember, is it 372 and 294 area? Let's see. Zooming out, I had this one in a nice harmonic pattern. And it looks like we might be trying to do some kind of type 2 return. Let me go to a different chart on this one, so I want to keep all this stuff here and not change it. ICP. Let's try mix C. So I assume, yeah. So my numbers are a little bit different from yours, but I think it probably maybe a different chart that you're looking at to get it, because the span between them looks very similar. But yeah, the 886 I've got is at 275. I think you got 294. And then I've got the 786 fib area right there at 356, and you got it at 372. So I think it's just a difference. I'm not on futures here. It might just be the difference of exchange, but it looks like you're looking at the right stuff there. Let's try it again. ICP. Yeah, I don't want to do that one. ICP. Here's against the dollar. And I'm going from this wick down here now. I could have went from the impulse move. Let's see, maybe that's what. Are we getting those numbers that way? 359. No. Here I'm getting 250 versus your 294 and 334. I'm including the wick in this rather than just the impulse move itself, because I mean, if I were on the weekly chart or whatever and pulling the fibs, this is exactly what I'd be seeing here too. So I count the whole move there. But I'm basically a fib level is what I'm looking for, a 786 from the bottom to the top, and I'm getting about 334 on here. Just my take. You might have some other, it might be moving averages or something else that are giving you your targets, but I'd say there's some confidence for some good areas to bottom out right through there. And it may take it a minute to get down there. What are you looking like on the 1 hour? Well, it may not take you too long at all to get there, maybe. So this weekend looks like it's going to be kind of iffy for altcoins. But we did see where Total 3 is gaining against Bitcoin. So most of the top 10s, I guess, is what we're looking at. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles. Oh, you guys are down 5% on the day today. WLFI, Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, you're down to 490. Yeah, okay. Do you, baby? Filecoin's sucking. It's at a bargain right there. I don't know if it's got any much value. Avalanche is Tau. Man, Tau is Tau's taking a beating. Oh, I got a box down here. Oh, I got a 382, a 1. It's more a 1. Okay. I have to tweak that. So this should be the 786 areas that we got marked down here. About 226, 227, right in the 230 area could still be what we're seeing for Tron or Tau. Came back into this trend line. Sorry to see that, Tau. Let's look at you against Bitcoin. Lost this trend line. Sucks to be you. Looks like she's declining. All right, let me come over to the chat here. How long have we been going? An hour and 45 minutes? My gosh, it doesn't feel like that at all. I see what they did, says Scar Jeskel. It did Geo. There's another entry. Oops. Have to catch up with the chat here. Actually, it's from November 21st to 24 exactly, 1 year ago now. That really funny. Randy Miles says, I looked up Bukowski's visual index of chart patterns. Great resource. Thanks for it is. If you've been out there, if you've been learning pattern trading from, especially from YouTube, by gurus. Now, there's some good videos out there. Trading Mindset, I think, is one place that they go over a lot of different things, and they're accurate with the stuff they present. Faceless videos or whatever. I think I'm thinking of the right one. I mean, there's some good places here on YouTube that you can get information, but if it's a person that's got an ego and they got a trading group and they're out there trying to teach, that's probably not your best place. Bukowski is a good source, and like I said, so that book is good, and then also the patternsite.com, which is it's not the most beautiful site, but it is free, and you get all that stuff over here and a lot more. He's even got software over here. Like, he's a software engineer, right? Or that's what he used to be before he retired in his 30s. And now he writes novels and teaches trading stuff for free. But he gives back. He gave back. He has his books, and they're not cheap. They're running somewhere about $80 to $100 for this encyclopedia on Amazon. Sometimes I've seen it for sale at $300 when it's out of print. But he's always updating, right? Even, well, as far as February went. But he's been giving back. It's just a good source, even though it looks kind of dated. But he's got a lot of Elliott Wave chart patterns, candlesticks, if you're into candlesticks and candlestick patterns. He's got a lot of information over here. You can get a full education over here. You can get a decent education over Investopedia, and that's where the trading groups used to take you to and go through articles. And even some of your morning gurus, that's what they were supposed to have done, but it doesn't look like they went through all the videos. Or else they would know a few more things than they're just now figuring it out. Strega says, I slept on Zcash. I played the hell out of that one. Yeah, I don't know. Now, it may get a second win. I'm not, not the one I've got my main eye on right now. Scar Jekyll says 496. He was correct on the short. Jim says, I typically stick to Coinbase over Binance for USD pairs, more liquid. Yeah, that's a good call. 71% odds of Fed's rate cut in December. Well, that's a little bit better than what I heard a few hours ago, somewhere in the 60% or something. So that would help. That would definitely help the markets, and that would be a narrative for why we would see. Well, last time they did it was last year, and we saw what happened into November right up until early December. That's when altcoins came back up for a second win, and we thought, oh, this is it. I can't wait for January. January's got to be better, right? But it wasn't. That was the second place to bail out of all these altcoins at the highs. In hindsight, we see that now clearly. Too giddy caught up in the moment. Actually, I remember that week. That was the week of my daughter's my daughter's birthday, and I still maintain that when I can. One of the best indicators that I have found for when something is going down in this market is that when the family life gets hectic, there's something that comes in. Suddenly there's all these appointments and bookings or something. You got some little agenda you got to start paying more attention to than the charts. Some little emergent, or the wife cards wanting all this. All of a sudden, blah blah blah. This needs to be done. Oh no. Yeah, there's something going on. There's some kind of tension in the homestead right when something's happening in the mood. That's just what I've noticed it's just been recurring over the past few years. I'm like, and so I've just to come to the things. Okay, so around holidays, whenever things are starting, I'm looking. I'm paying attention when things start getting stressful or something weird comes up. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna keep my eyes on the market because. Yeah, this is where it usually gets me, and I don't know. There just seems to be something lines up there. Crazy as it seems. Anybody else experience something like that? Striker says, snap back to reality. How the hell do I fix that? What are we talking about? Bulls need to step in because my take is even if Bitcoin goes up from a low, people are going to be shorting it at resistance. Oh, it goes up from a low, people are going to be shorting it. Oh, they will. I'm sure they will. Well, like I said, we may not see this until around the second week of December, right? We could be getting beaten down. I think we're going to be ranging here. I am concerned that my 382, that we're not above it, so we're struggling. Right now it's being resistance. And that kind of puts us to that, ranging between here and 78,000. We could wick down through even lower on the weekend. I'm not a fan of that, but that could be what we're looking at. So far, let's come down to the... I just follow it on small-ass time frames. And so we got rounding going over here. Now, I like rounding. Because I usually see... I'll have to tweak this. I usually see this. This is a bottom formation that I look for, and we could be possibly making one. Whether it was to come all the way back down here and retest 80,000, that could be very possible. Or we catch a break here at the 786 area, 886 area, and then from here we catch a nice strong wick. At least to come back up to these areas, so we can see a good bounce down here. We're rounding out here. I like this. Now we also here on this is small time frames. I know we're rejected off the 360. One reason why I have that up there because it helps me on every time frame for good resistance areas to see what's going on. Otherwise, if it wasn't there, you're like, wow, what's going on? With it there, we can see, oh man, we got some rejection going on. But we got some bigger moving averages crossing over the 200 on these smaller time frames. That's good. That's good momentum. So, but we can slower. We might get a surprise dump over the weekend. That sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. Either boring ass sideways. If it goes boring ass sideways, we got a chance for altcoins to try to do something. If we got Bitcoin suddenly coming down and scaring people, then altcoins going to follow too. Sideways, boring ass sideways above this current 382 fib from low to high. Where we are right now, we can just hang out here, or maybe not even drop past the 0.5 at 83. But we can just hang out here all weekend around this 200 moving average, whatever. Well, of course, it won't in 6 minutes, but If we can do that, that would be beneficial for altcoins. Maybe we get a little something and get a little gain in some of these altcoins. I said nothing much happening over here. What's going on in the hour? Any of them doing pretty good? They're not down too much on the hour. How are they doing on the daily? Yeah, they took a hit today, 5%. That's a decent little gut punch right there on the day. Not as bad as 10% or 15%. That sucks. That's a kick in the nuts right there. Ow. Ow. But we can take a couple of hits on the chin, or a gut punch or two every once in a while. Maker, also known as Sky now. I got rid of mine. I didn't like the fact that it changed its name. I was going to hold that one. Oh, here's Sky. What's the deal? Wait a minute. My Maker turned into Sky. I did not buy Sky, but my Maker turned into Sky over on iTrustCapital, so I sold it. I don't understand what's going on there. It was my understanding they took Maker coins and turned them into too damn many other Sky. I don't know. Previously Maker. That's what it says. Sky, previously Maker. After seeing that, I was like, okay, you rebranded. I'm not playing this horse. Even if you do good, yeah. Historically, the ones I've been into that went through some kind of rebranding. Do you remember eGold? It used to be eGold. Hell, I haven't even heard these people mentioned. It used to be EGLD. What did they turn into? They're Multiverse X. What are you guys doing now? $7. You know how much this thing used to be? This thing, all-time high for this coin was $545. They did something weird when I first got into them too. They've rebranded a couple of times. So when you get a project that don't even know what the hell it's about and what it's trying to do, I'm like, even if it's got good tokenomics, look at this. Now they got good tokenomics. Do they? 28. There was a time when they had billions. I don't know. They flipped it up so much. They flip play whatever was popular. Suddenly they were attached to. When NFTs were popular, oh, well, now we're kind of getting into NFTs, and I don't know. I'm surprised they're not doing AI. But this was a hot one last cycle, and that's 728. Your all-time low was a month ago. Oh, really? What are you guys doing right now? The internet scale blockchain. Multiverse X, the eGold network, is a distributed blockchain network for next generation applications. Right? Is it now? Are you AI now? I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know, but I haven't heard Wasm based virtual machine. I know that. I mean, it looks like they got some stuff going on. Cross chain oracles. You don't hear much about DAI anymore. Atomic wallet. Discover our ecosystem. Okay, what is it? Show me. Yeah. What is your ecosystem? Knights F Cathena. Zosno XOX no. Was that your ecosystem? That was it? Is this it? I want to view them all. Yeah, I keep hitting view all projects and I keep getting. Oh, okay. I guess this is it. Whatever. Pulsar. I've never heard of any of these. Arcadia, Gather Graphics. So we got a few games over here. I don't know. But you haven't heard much about this little guy. I'm just saying. Altcoins don't die. They just fade away into oblivion. And are forgotten. David says they rebranded so they can freeze coins now. DAI was not CBDC compliant. Maybe. Should have sold all my virtuals when it was up instead of just a third. The only thing I've been able to take profits on lately. How's virtuals been doing? You gotta remember now, when it comes to crypto projects, you gotta ask yourself, what does this token actually do to benefit this project? Is it just a governance, or is there a utility for it? Because if there's not a utility, if there's not something backing up with why you need to have that token, governance tokens does not cut it. It gives you rights to vote, that's not enough. If it gives you rights to dividends or some kind of special access, or if it's the gas for the chain, those are some basic utilities. But I just want, what does virtuals do? That's 88 cents. Oh my God, you took a beating. So it looked like it was doing a recovery, but it was really the old slam bam thingy bam. When it was down here, what, 77 cents, and it went up to $1.86. I missed all that because this flush got me. It took my position out, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. But I was trying to play this one because it did have a good run, going up to 250. It looks like it's still got a little something, but she might be coming back for a deeper retracement. Looks like she lost the 0.5. So I would definitely put 63 cents. I know it doesn't sound good. She's trying to hold 91. There might be a chance there. What I can see over here is that we got a swing low to our first swing high. Does that count? Let me come down to smart time frame. Let me try it this way. What we got here? You might have something there. It's 786. I don't think you're quite deep enough to qualify right there. And that's not the goodest match either. I think we might have a little harmonic pattern there. That's. I've been looking for 65 cents. I'll put it that way. And right now it looks like we're retesting this area over here where we got this line with 85.90 cents. Maybe we'll hold there, retest that. That would be a near support to hold. That would be about the 886 of this pull from just that impulse move, wouldn't it? Yeah, close to it. So you got that idea too. It might actually hold here from just the impulse move. I was taking the wick into account, and I still will. But there's one argument that maybe this could hold. It'd be cool if it does. I mean, that'd be bullish for either way. And then some people would have been, seeing a nice head and shoulders. That's actually a good head and shoulders. You don't see me pulling out the head and shoulders too much. They've about become a meme because some people just see them in everything and all different. Look, shoulder, head and shoulder, head and all these different ones. That's a nice textbook head and shoulder topping pattern right there. And of course you can take a measure move for it. Now if you took the full measure move, you'd be saying, oh my God, we're coming back down to 46 cents. But if you go over to the patternsite.com and go with head and shoulders top, you'll find that there's a multiplier that we can put on there. Make it a little bit more accurate. Are we in the right spot? We want to go to the chart pattern index. And I'm going to look. I'm in the one by names. There are some that have pictures. Head and shoulders tops. And it's got percentage meeting price target right here. 51% is what he says right there. And basically what that is, that's a multiplier that we put to our measure move. And that means, well, we'll take this. And the easiest way I found to do it, well, just take your fib. Because it's a scale of 100%, right? And looks like we started at 1 and pulled to 0. This is where the top is when I went from bottom to top. And I'll put this at, well, I guess technically, shrink you down. So to the 0.5, just a hint below it. This would be your measure move, your Bukowski measure move, adjusted measure move. And a lot of times you can find that there might be some confluence between this and one of the shoulders, preferably the right shoulder, because it should be, for one of my definitions on a head and shoulders, I want to see the shoulder lower than the shoulder over here. That's one of the things I look for. And I want to see a more solid neckline, and this one's a little bit iffy for my terms, but it goes on an angle. What the hell happened? Who are you? Okay, that was weird. Can it do I know the... What the hell is that? Okay, well, I don't know if that messed up what I was... Where'd the measure move go? Oh, come on. I would just... No! Stop it! You suck. Alright. Did you even go to the same chart? I think it went to a different chart. That pissed me off. Well, redo it. You find it usually it can correspond with this shoulder over here. Of course, we got a different thing going on with the trend lines. This is actually a little bit better. Let's get this off of here. I think it put me on a different chart. It's kind of suggesting 71 cents, which would be kind of coming back down here. I feel like I missed the magic whenever that thing switched charts on me like that. So we zoom out of virtuals. What's going on over here? Yeah, virtuals is not having very much fun now. This is not the same chart we were on. We had levels down here, right? 62. That's the one that I've got my eye on. 62. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been going for about 2 hours here. Let me come back over to Bitcoin and see what we're doing. We lost some more ground, looks like, as we're slowly doing the scallopy rollover. So looks like we got that kind of weekend where they might drive us down a little bit. 83. See if we can catch some traction here. Recover some of these moving averages. That can happen. We might range through here a little bit. If not, then I'm kind of looking down here about 81.7 over the weekend that they may be trying to take us to scare us. Hopefully we won't go any lower. If we do go lower, oh my god, we're looking at 78. Cross our fingers that doesn't. We don't really need that to keep happening because that's leaning more into the bear market theme. Which, like I said, I'm not going. Anybody calling a bear market, I am not dissing you whatsoever. You're being smart and listening to what the bigger time frames are saying on the indicators, and they're pointing to what traditionally has always been the early confirmations of a bear market. However, I'm considering things more bear market for altcoins until I see some that are excelling against Bitcoin. We haven't found the greatest examples tonight. It looks like some of them already did, but we did see where Total 3 was saying is trying to do. There's some out there that I think we just haven't found yet. I'm going to be digging and see what I can come up with for tomorrow night's stream of ones that look like they're possibly getting ready to set up, to go against Bitcoin. I think that should be our focus right now over the next few weeks. And, because there's opportunity to do that and grow your Bitcoin with some of these. That's what Total 3 was telling us. In the top 100, they'll be in the top 100, probably the top 20 or something. I'd recommend starting to look for those guys. But we'll see. It's got a good chance, I think, to come down here to 81 and hopefully catch a higher high there, or maybe all the way down here and do a complete double bottom. Retesting that 80. I do expect us to come back to these areas again in early January. And between now and then, I do think that we can get a retest of 98,000, maybe a little bit of 100,000. And I'm not the only one seeing that. And a lot of my reasoning for that, other than Fibonacci things telling me a few things, is related to GAN idea based on how all this correlates with the birth date of Bitcoin. It's crazy. Looking how GAN applies the square of 9 to that idea is very enlightening. With some key times, key areas, which we are at right now. this could be the cycle that really defines Bitcoin. And it could also be the cycle that continues to demolish and destroy altcoins too. So my faith is not in altcoins anymore at the moment, but it definitely is not wavering in Bitcoin at the moment. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow night. Trade carefully with the altcoins. And it's not a bad idea to, in my personal opinion, to try to stack up a little on Bitcoin if you can and get the chance to. I don't think the ride's over for Bitcoin just yet. I just don't. Right or wrong. But you've been wrong a lot lately with that support. The 110,000, that didn't hold. You suck, Road Dawg. Yeah, it sucked. It didn't hold. You're in a 90-something. Cross my fingers that 80 holds too, but how far is it going to go down in this bear market? If we just now getting started. With such a big drop, we're looking for a relief rally. At least a short one, if anything, right? All right, well, let's see how this plays out. See you on the next one, everybody. Have a good one going to the end screen. Hey, Jenny. Most have not called bear market yet that I've watched. I see a little bit of a mixed.
Dreamed of a Lambo, now I'm pushing the pack. Family's asking why I'm glued to the screen. Crypto was the ticket, now it's tearing the scene.
Started with 100, flipped it to a grand. Told my girl we moving, drew lines in the sand. Bought the top on Tuesday, sold the dip on a prayer. While it's in there, I see you breathing thin air. Mom's on the couch saying, boy, get a job. But the chart's my religion and I'm dodging the saw.
Bull run blues hit hard when the moon turned black. Dreamed of a Lambo, now I'm pushing the pack. Family's asking why I'm glued to the screen. Crypto was a ticket, now it's tearing the scene.
Sleepless nights staring, red candles in my eye. Health on the back burner, eating cold fried. Wife's packing bags, saying this ain't the life. Crypto was a savior, now it's cutting like a knife.
Hey, Road Dawg, what you doing? I'm just, it's kind of stuck on the screen right now, son. Yeah, I know. This is my favorite part of the whole show right here.
The dark don't last like cracks through
Even, not the charting or going over the coins.
Just get my family back.
What were you saying? You do what? Never mind, son. It's just like a lava lamp. That's amazing. Look, there's colors. I like the way the light just reflects, captures the curves. You know, that might have a Fibonacci curve to it. That might be what's enticing their eyeballs so much. You know, Sean, I thought you were a dumbass until that just came out of your mouth. Well, F you, Road Dawg. No, I meant that. I meant that as a compliment, Sean. Well, I mean, I seen them fib spirals, you know, and I kind of stare at them the way I stare at these things, but they don't move, and these do. And I like it.
Started in the trailer.
I like it too. Holy shit! Where do you come from? Yeah, where'd you, Hobby? You're standing there.
Sorry, I came out of trance. I was watching and saw, you know. I like this screen too.
Bitcoin changed my life from the dirt to the sky. One cent at a time. Watch the freedom fly.
It's hard to see with all those words on the screen. I'm just saying. Oh wow, look. It's my favorite part right here. I think we all have an office crush on the new girl.
I know.
From the food stamp line to the open road, Bitcoin's the engine lighting in the load.
I gave her a love letter, but she has not checked yes or no. She is such a tease.
Chain don't break, it's a bond we share.
Bitcoin's a promise in the open air.
Every voice together, every hand in hand.
Bitcoin changed my life from the dirt to the sky.
Good night, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Have fun. Trade safely. Try to stack that Bitcoin if you can. That's going to be a rodeo.
Bitcoin changed my life.
Good night, John Boy.